Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my review for Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 7, honey. And next week is the series finale. I'm not ready. It is 11:53. I had to gather myself. I watched it live. This is a whole different review. I ain't got no notes. I'm going off the brain. Okay? Because I am very distraught over this show. Okay. Um, I ate some soup, so my lipstick looks stupid. I put it on this morning, so don't judge me. Um, this episode, I was just like, I can't. So I'm gonna try to give y'all what I have in my mind, and we're gonna move past that. I was gonna go live, but I probably would have cried on live. I'm not gonna do that, but I probably will do a live next week for the series finale. I'll do a live after show of the episode and everything. We see Grace going to pick up Darius. Okay, Darius wasn't killed, thank God. He was arrested and like falsely accused of like driving high on PCP and resisting arrest and all this foolish stuff that we know that Bob had put in motion. So, she gonna get him out of jail, but they still want to be on the case to figure out what Bob got going on. And since Darius has a family who was around back in the day when Bob was taking the black people's houses, who was willing to testify on record, or at least on record with a reporter, about what happened. So he gonna go do that, and she gonna go see with Aaron or whatever, because Aaron and her wants to get an injunction to try to get the church to not be torn down, because they feel like when H&H got Jacob's land, they didn't know that it was H&H. Okay, it was a whole secret. Now we know Carissa knew, but Jacob didn't know. So we had that or whatever. We do see May and Bishop in bed. No, May's in bed. Bishop brings May breakfast in bed, but it wasn't no food. It was an engagement ring. It was the first wedding ring he bought for her way back when or whatever, because he doesn't want to wait the flag day to get married. He like, let's just do it now, May. Let's just do it now. We don't even have to go down to a church. We can just sit here and look at each other and say, I do, and that can be it too. We know why wait. May, of course, like, I don't know, James. We have to be on the same accord. What you mean, May? Okay. She wants them to agree to either give Tyra and them the house or sell some of the lands from it and give the money to Tyra. She wants to give them something. And he like, no, May. Giving them anything is like saying I had something to do with their father's death and I did not. And she said, we have to wait till Flag Day to get married. He's like, oh, so he's upset, but he leaves away or whatever. We do see he go downstairs and AJ there. He's happy to see AJ, but he forgets why AJ there at first. Oh, he here for the car. Okay, good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out there in 1 minute. So they go outside, they chit chat for a good minute. Bishop and AJ is having some bonding time, and Bishop brings up how I'm the same place you were with this box. I was never able to get it open. You know what I'm saying? I never got to that point or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And they were just talking about faith and being saved, and how God is real. Just Bishop imparting wisdom into AJ nugget by nugget. Okay, nugget by nugget, and letting him know like, to say a prayer. One prayer is the start of you being saved and everything. And AJ is like, I never got, this. I was never saved. I didn't get saved in jail either. But Bishop is like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? When you're ready, you will be, able to say your prayer. Ain't no rush. There's no rush. And when you have that moment, the smile on your face will be the most, brightest, happiest smile that you've ever known. And AJ is listening, looking like, wow, like, he's listening to Bishop. And Bishop isn't trying to like force him. He's just talking to his grandson. But it was amazing to see them bonding over that or whatever. But cool. At the church, we see, Dirty Dick Fernando. We see Sellout Phil and White Judy. Just waiting for the building to be turned down. But they're waiting for Bob to show up. Because Bob has some announcement. Bob wants to announce he's running for Senate in front of the church that he's tearing down. I'm looking like, that's a white man for you. But when Grace and Aaron get there, they like, you can't do that. We have an injunction because when y'all took Jacob's land, they were not aware that y'all were H&H because you used the realty company who was really a subsidiary of H&H. Dirty Dick Fernando Are you sure they didn't know? They like, yes, my brother will testify. He had no idea. Did his wife not know? Because I can assure you that she knew and she loved it. Okay, she loved it a whole lot. I'm like, you old dirty dick ass. Okay, anyway, but again, they had the injunction and whatever. So this is the first time that Grace and Aaron is even hearing that Carissa maybe knew. So she didn't call Jacob. You need to call Carissa. In fact, like, did you know that they were agents? He was like, of course not. No, and I don't think Carissa knew either. You need to call her because they saying that she knew. He calls Carissa, and she's like, "Hey, Jacob, what's up? Is it about Zora? Because Zora keep bothering them about wanting to move to New York." And so she came in with bothering Jacob about it. Like, have you talked to cousin so and so about the space there in Hoboken? Or if you can't talk to so and so, I found this little place, we got to pay for right now because I want to go immediately. He's like, Zora, no, calm down, cancel your flight, we'll figure it out later. Your mama just left yesterday and whatnot. So when he calls Carissa, she assumes that's the reason for it because, again, Zora got her. He's like, no, we'll talk about that later. Did you know that the realty people was H&H? She was like, why? What do you mean? When she said why or why you didn't know, whatever she said, whatever how she worded it, that should have been Jacob's key to knowing she knew. Because who would say why does that matter? Bitch, because it matters, okay? He said because, they have an injunction and if we can prove that we did not know, it can help say the church. So you didn't know, right? And she just didn't say nothing. He's like, Carissa. And she's like, sorry, Jacob. He was like, God damn it. Okay. He's like, so you knew? Good to know. And he hung up the phone. I was like, again, we mad at Carissa for many reasons. It's not just because she fucked Dirty Dick Fernando and gave Jacob a disease. No, it was the backhandedness that she was doing with Fernando that pissed us off or whatever. Back at the house, we see May meeting with Tara again at the house because they want to try to come to some kind of agreement. May is suggesting, we gonna sell 10 acres and y'all can have that. And Tara, Rochelle won't be happy with that. I've already told her we can try to do this and that. It's like, she don't even want, a piece, or she don't want us to, make it. She doesn't want us to make some kind of deal. She wants victory. All Rochelle wants is for Bishop to say, yes, I killed your father. And that's not, she ain't gonna get that or whatever. And so May and Tyra can't come to any kind of joint agreement because, Tyra, no matter what, I'm not on your side. Okay, so you can't think that, what you want to happen is what's gonna happen if that's not what we're gonna have. So they at odds too. Now, meanwhile, across town, per Alex, Alex did that all the time in his reviews. Grace and Noah go and meet with the caretaker because Noah popped up and said, hey, I found the caretaker that was, on that white lady house back in the day and whatnot. And so, yeah, old white man now. And so they go talk to old white man caretaker. Now, old white man caretaker, he has all these memories of, white lady Judy. Well, her name ain't Judy, but white lady Phyllis, I'm gonna call her Phyllis. We'll always have this man around, Daryl James, and he was always there. Would come and go anytime he wanted to. He would come over anytime of the day at night, and they'd be fussing about all kind of stuff. And I would sometimes go over there to knock on the door to be sure he wasn't gonna beat on her or whatever. And we looking like, oh, so it was some kind of relationship between, white lady Phyllis, I know that whatever her name is, and Daryl James. So we have concluded the Negro that was in the notes was Daryl James. Okay, I thought it was Mac, but no, it was Daryl James. And Grace and Noah say, so what was their relationship like? Were they a couple? He was like, God, no. Oh no, of course not. They're like, oh, why no? Because he was black and she was white. He's like, no, it isn't. They weren't sexual. It wasn't that. They're like, well, how do you know? What? Then who were they to each other? Why was he always there? He was like, well, I guess since she's dead, it doesn't matter now. He was like, Daryl James was her son. Looking like, oh shit. That means they own the house. Okay, so old lady, white woman, Phyllis, son with Daryl James. She hid the fact that he was her son because she was an unmarried white woman who had clearly had sex with a black man. Okay, and so boom, we have it. And she had a kid that she some kind of way had around somewhere, but still knew that was her son. So that's why she left from the house. Okay, now it doesn't explain who killed him. But it explains the reason she got that she left from the house or whatnot. So Grace and Noah are shocked. Son, oh my God. Okay, now back at the house, we see Bishop and Charity watching the television, seeing that Bob is going to announce he's going to be senator or running for senator or whatever. May look like, oh, this. So, Tara don't want to make no deal or whatever. Rochelle wants vengeance and stuff. What's going on? Grace then comes like, oh, I got a clue. Dale James was old lady white woman Phyllis's son. They was like, what? How do you know? The caretaker knew. The caretaker remembered because she told him all those years ago, because he got wondering why the guy was always around, and so he was the only one who supposedly knew that Daryl James was old lady white woman Phyllis's son. And then Bishop was like, oh, I should have known. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. I should have known. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I just pay it? And he's talking to him, so like, why didn't I pay attention to this and this and this and everything? And he then say, May, call Tara Rochelle and tell him to come over to the house. Now, I'm not calling her to this house, James. No. May, call her over to the house now. And he's like, okay, fine. And then we see Cherry like, I'm going to go to the church and do one last stand for the church. Because if we're going to lose this house, we're not going to lose this house and the church, okay? Charity needs somewhere to stay. I guess she's going to stay at the church. I digress. So we then see Tara and Rochelle come over, and Bishop and May sit them down and say, okay, it's come to our attention today, within the past couple of hours, that your daddy, Daryl James, and old lady white woman Phyllis. Let's spit it out, May. Spit it out, okay? What is it? Rochelle, Latoya Luckett is a great actress. I don't like her on the show. I don't like Rochelle, which means she plays her role really, really good. She's a great actress, and I really want her to get more movie or TV roles or whatever. Anyway, so they say, well, it comes to our attention, we have to have a blood test now. We got to have some deal. Your grandma's body got to be dug up or whatever, but we think, she was your grandmother, that she was your father's mother. What? And they're like, yeah, we found out, we ain't know or whatever. Oh, is that all? So is that an acknowledgement of, y'all killing my... No, bitch, it's not. Not bitch. But again, Bishop was like, no, just stop it, Rochelle. Is that what happened, okay? I did not kill your father. Bishop, until you come clean, and I want to... And Rochelle won't let up or whatever. As they talking or whatnot, here comes Jacob. Mama. Oh, Mama. Charity sent the email to the whole church, to air up to the whole congregation or whatever, saying if you want to hear truth about what really happened and this and that or whatever, come down to the church. And there's hundreds of people down there. They want some answers. And then Bishop, okay, Rochelle, you want that? You want the truth? Come down to the church. And they all go down to the church. So we get down to the church, and the congregation is there. We see Phil and Bob and White Judy and Dirty Dick Fernando and Charity. Everybody, they're kind of old messy ass and things and whatnot. And then they're all questioning, Bob on what is Edenville lending, what is all this hoopla about you not ready for the black folk or whatever, what's going on. Now the whole time Bob is like, I don't know what they're talking about, like, yes, we was a mortgage firm or whatever, we was there to help families who couldn't pay their mortgage, we gave them loans and blah blah blah. And they said, well, no, but what about, because Darius, Grace, Charity is asking these questions. But what about, you only really targeting black low-income families, and when they couldn't afford to pay you, you took their homes. I don't have any idea about, targeting black families. How would you know that? And Darius said, because we put 298 of the loans or whatever, and they were black folk. Okay, out of the 300 loans y'all did, 298 of them were black families, and y'all took all their houses. Every single one. Okay? And who was Phyllis DeMar, which was, Phil's mama. And then, why was her name on every single, loan document or whatever? I don't know. She worked there, and if she was the one, tricking black folk and to do, and I'm like, you gonna blame that dead man? That dead lady, that man mama? And Phil looking like, What the really? Because he's saying I didn't have anything to do with it. It must have been Phyllis. Okay, she worked there, but I did. I maybe she went out and found black people, and then she did that. It wasn't me. And I'm like, ooh, you white devil, you. And feel like I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I know Bob. That was my mama. Okay, in all those years, I never knew what she did, but I just would see her work a lot of it, but I didn't have any idea like what she actually did for a living and whatnot. But on her deathbed, okay, on her deathbed, she kept saying that she hoped God can forgive her, but she would never say for what it was. She never would say that part, but she was, gotta sneeze, but she was, always trying to find resolve and just repent for something and hoping God will forgive her. And now I know why. Bob, he's like, son, I'm not your son. Okay, so now Phil is fully on the side of Bob was on some bullshit. Bob used my mama and my daddy was right, but it's too late now. He then goes to Judy, give me the ring back, and she's like, what? Judy, give me my mother's ring back. She was like, oh, fine. It's junk. And she threw it. I'm looking like, bitch, did you just do that? And so Phil walked over and picked it up. And as he picked it up, he would look over at Charity, who was like, okay, I guess it's some good on you yet. Okay, you now know. They all sat down and whatever. We then see Bishop come in and everything. So Bishop then came in, Tara and I was gonna say Felicia, Tara and Rochelle and May and Jacob and the whole AJ there. Okay, everybody. Sophia, the whole family is up in the church. And then Bishop like, you are not going to tear down the church. Not today. Okay, y'all want the truth? I'm gonna give y'all the truth. Now the whole time they now know that Bob was on some bullshit. So Bob has been exposed, and also Darius has told Grace that CBS News is gonna run a story about Bob, so he'll be exposed or whatever. Bishop then get up on the pulpit, okay, and he lay all his burdens down. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the rivers. Anyway, girl, song. He gets up and he's honest about what happened. He tells the truth about the church. I have lied about this and I've lied about that and I've led y'all astray, okay? I was, seduced and I was, enticed by a succubus of basically greed and money and, success and what I thought this church could be. And, he brings up how, a long time ago, we got this house, was given this house by old lady, white woman, Phyllis, you know what I'm saying? And when I went to this lady's house and she told me, about her house that we could have, that she was going to give to us, I was just so enthralled. And, okay, the house can get me to church. Okay, because when she gave us the house, we used the house as collateral to get a loan to build the church. So we wouldn't have this church if we would have never gotten the house from old lady white woman Phyllis, okay? He then said, but when she told me the story about how she was going to give the house to... No, when she told me the story about a fire and the person she was going to get the house to died in the fire, I didn't think of nothing about it. Okay, he said something Emmy did say, but could these two things be connected? There's a fire that happens, and then you get this house. Are those two things connected? Like, I didn't think about it or whatever. I just had this thing of I get the house and the church. I was, just not blinded, but I was just overwhelmed and overjoyed with what I can do. Okay, and it started off with good intent. He said, but over the years, I was making exceptions for little laughs here, little things. I was accepting these little sins here and there because I was just so caught up in the succubus of wanting to be successful, of wanting to do this and want to be better, and wanting, the achievement to be on top, and this and that and that and this. And, I failed y'all. I didn't do right by y'all. I'm saying? Now, for it to come out that, Daryl, the whole thing or whatnot. And then she's like, Tyra and Rochelle, that's the truth. I'm saying? I didn't kill your father. I'm saying? At all. That wasn't what it was. I really just got the house and built the church. That was really it. It ain't nothing else more to it than that, okay? And then the church said, no, Bishop, you were great. You taught us way more than that and this. Because Bishop was just laying his burdens down, like he's being honest about how he got to where he was. He said, all this time I was, think I was preaching, about what it was to have God, and in real life it was like, it's what happened when you don't have God. I'm paraphrasing or whatever. But it was a great laying down of the burdens of what he had done, not intentionally. Okay? And so they all said, oh, it's okay, Pastor. They then tell, Phil and Wyatt Judy and Dirty Dick DeMar, Dirty Dick Fernando to leave or whatever. And here comes Charity. Start singing Amazing Grace. I'm like, we don't need you singing Charity. Be quiet. But all the whole church joins in and the whole family goes up, by the pulpit. Wait, no pulpit, this is the stage. And then they all hug her, they sing, because again, he laid down his burdens and they realized he's just a flawed man, but he didn't have any ill intent into anything. He just was, again, eyesight on achievement. I want what I want when I want it. And I'm going to make exceptions to get what I want. But that wasn't the right thing to do. And because I've done that, my family has suffered. My daughter dead. My other daughter was molested by an uncle, by the uncle. You understand? My son got chlamydia by the girl. All these things that happened, made her shit. All these other things that happened while on this path to try to be great. I'm going to ignore these little things again because it all came to a head. Boom. So they singing together, oh, me, and all that. I'm like, shut up, Charity. So in the hallway, we see a couple different conversations. We see Grace catching up with Rochelle, who seems to be satisfied with what Bishop has now said, even though he ain't said nothing different than he said the whole 5 seasons. Okay, but I digress. She's like, so are you happy now, Rochelle? Well, I got what I needed. I didn't ever want the house. I just wanted the truth. And she's like, okay, well, that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? Are you happy with how things went? Well, it is what it is, Grace. What you want me to do? I'm gone. I'm leaving. I'm done. Okay? I'm going to be out of your hair. And then Grace then says, thanks for AJ. I know it was you that gave him Noah's number. And she was like, I sure did, okay? I wanted you to see that your shit stinks, too. Okay, you ain't too good for anything either. You left your son all by himself. She's like, okay, I get that you right or whatever. However, what you meant for evil turned into something amazing, okay? It was a blessing either way. Well, you know what, Grace? Sometimes God will send lessons through even a good sinner like myself. Bye. And then she left, and then the lights turned all white. I guess we won't see Rochelle no more. We then see Phil and Charity in the hall. Charity's walking through the hall. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, or whatever. Charity, can we talk real quick? And she was like, what is it, Phil? Can we talk? She's like, what do you want? I'm sorry. You did not deserve what I did to you. I'm so sorry, Charity. I love you. And she was like, oh, Phil, I'm so happy that, you did what you did in there. Okay, that was amazing for you to do. I always knew you were a good man inside, okay? However, not any man, not even my husband, my ex-husband, has broken my heart the way you did, okay? And I would be a fool to ever trust you with my heart again. So, again, I'm glad that you're a good man, but no, never. And she walks away, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, and she just is smiling. And I'm like, the issue I consistently have with Charity is she acts as if she did not play an active role in deceiving her family to be with Phil. So why are you upset that Phil then betrayed you for his dream as well? Is Phil shit? No. But Charity also is not shit either. Okay, because she did what she had to do to get what she wanted. Just like Phil did. So, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Okay? We then see Grace and Darius in the car. Darius is happy that the story will be out and everything. And Grace is like, thank you. Thank you so much for, helping with all this and everything. It's like, oh, no problem, whatever. They kiss deeply. Okay, kissing all in the mouth, open mouth to all. I'm like, oh, all in the mouth. Okay. They going to talk later because like, I got to go talk to Sophia because he wanted her to come back to his house. But I got to talk to Sophia because, again, Sophia is under the impression that she has to talk to her mom. Also, Zora was talking to Sophia like, you should ask your mom for the money and then she can pay for us to live in New York. Oh, so you wanted me to go to Hampton to go to school, but now you want me to follow you to New York and for me to pay for us to live there? And she's like, well, yeah, whatever. So she wants to go talk to mom about that. So Grace's like, oh, so what's up, honey? Oh my, I know how everything going. Oh, it's great. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted to talk about? So again, because she know Zora told my mom about them titty pics. Okay, mom, I know you're upset because of the picture I sent Dante. I will never ever send inappropriate pictures again. And she's like, what pictures? Meaning Zora lied to Sophia to get Sophia to snitch on herself. Zora ain't shit. You want me to come with you to New York and pay for shit, but you tricked me into snitching on myself. You old bitch. You old bitch. And I digress. So we then see that, okay? Then we see May. May is in the bathroom getting all done up. Okay, all done up for a man. Got her little lingerie on, boob and cleavage out and everything. Good vibes only. And then she put a little spill good spray on or whatever. James, I don't know why I said no or not. Let's wait till Flag Day. Let's get married tomorrow, James. We can make it a whole thing. And James is on the bed reading the Bible. And he hasn't replied yet. And she crawling in the bed and she's hugging him from behind. And then we see his face is weird. And I'm like, shit. May, pay attention. And May is just talking. And I'm like, May, pay attention. And May just talking. May, pay the fuck attention. And when she gets from back, because she's hugging on him. But again, to her, it's just her husband sitting in the bed and she's hugging him from behind. And when she scoots over and gets beside him and then looks at him, and you can see he's trying to like mumble, but he can't talk because Bishop is having a stroke. Okay. And I knew that, because I medical field. But again, May can't see him and he's not moving. He's just in the bed sitting there with his Bible or whatever. And so when she gets beside him and look and she sees his lips slowly moving and his face is kind of drooping on one side, she's like, something's wrong. James, can you talk, James? And he was like, Sugar said no. And then she's like, oh my God. And so I got to call 911. He's like, he grabs her hand and he's making a gesture for her to get him a pen. Okay, wait 1 sec. I'm like, May, call 911, May. Call the police, call Jesus, the police, call whoever. Okay, call, where the fuck is the maid? She should know CPR. Anyway, so she calls 911 and she gets him a pen as they're waiting for the police and everything. And he's writing in the Bible, I do. And she's like, I do? You do what, baby James? You do? And I'm like, this morning, he told her, let's get married today. Even if we in his bed together and we look at each other and say, I do. So he wrote down, I do. And then she's like, oh, okay. I do too, my love. And I was like, oh my God. They killed Bishop. She said, I do too, my love. And at first he was sitting up. And then when she said I do or whatever, she's like, James, stay with me. Just stay with me. His body kind of started to go limp. And he went to fall back. And I'm looking like they're going to show. Look. I laid in the bed. Because I watched in the bed. I laid in the bed under the covers for like 30 minutes crying. Oh my God. He just laid back. And you could hear his breathing. She's like, no, James, look at me, James. So the whole time she's like, look at me. Like, don't look at, if a person died, have them look at you, okay? She's like, look at me, James. It's okay. Stay with me. I love you. I love you, my love. And she just talking, oh Lord. And you just seen him stop. Oh Lord. They killed Bishop. Bitch. I know he's fictional. But it was still sad. I think because, my dad died of a heart attack. Bruh. I was like, no. And it was a great scene. It was acted out immaculately, emotionally, spiritually well. You know what I'm saying? To see the bond between May and Bishop up until his last breath. To see, May making sure that in his last moments, oh girl, fix it. In his last moments, May made sure that he was focused on her. You know what I'm saying? It was just so sad. And she was like, Grace! Because again, because he's dying. And then, she was, because now he laying on the bed and everything. And, she's like, just stay with me, James. And she heard the fact that he stopped breathing. She was like, no! And then it went off. Dead silence as the credits rolled. And I'm like, they killed Bishop, girl. That was the whole episode. If I've left stuff out, please forgive just forgive my brain, not my heart. Okay, I did all this on no notes. Taking pauses in between, but I mean, it was a good episode. Next week of the series finale. There was one part in the episode where Zora was talking to Sophia and everything, and I mentioned this part. I don't want y'all to comment. You remember this part? And, she said to Sophia, we can be in New York. It can be you. It can be me. It can be like a TV show. So people are assuming the spinoff may be about Zora and Sophia in New York. Maybe they'll bring AJ in on it too. I don't know. Girl, but next week, I'm pretty sure, will be the funeral. We see May preaching. You know what I'm saying? And I think she was saying something like him saying, let me be new or help me be new. And I'm looking like I can't take it. It was just saying too much. Oh, Lord Jesus, it was so tough. So again, that was my review. I hope y'all liked it. If not, you better like it anyway. Okay? I'm done.